Hi! Welcome to the podcast ng Inang Mo. We are here with my friend Deborah Vanagan, who's going to answer some questions about the social issues here in society and our I already spin the wheel and the social issues that we're going to encounter here in our podcast for today is having a child here in the Philippines or having a child of your own. There's some comments and our last commenter is Mary Rose 101. So her question is that do you want to bear your own child? Do you want to bear your own child? What's your answer, Deborah?
Hi, Nick. So, by the way, hello to your viewers. Keep following Nika here on Spotify. So, going back to the questions, yes, I want to bear a child. Why? Since I do believe bearing a child is a crucial decision, yet a responsibility one. But the reason of me wanted to have a child is because I want to say that this comes from me. It is made by myself, by my partner, and they are not just a random thing, but a lifelong responsibility of mine that I will treasure forever.
So if I'm going to ask that question, do I want to bear a child? My answer is I don't want to bear a child because of my past traumas. I don't want to pass it to my future children or future child if I'm going to have one. Second, I am not financially stable enough. Having a child is really a difficult handful or a handful needs for it. School expenses or whatsoever. And the third is that I don't want to experience the traumas that I may encounter while having the pregnancy. So, we're going to pick some question here in the comments. Oh, there is by Riza 201. What if your partner didn't agree with your decision of not
That's a great
having
question.
a child or having a child?
Decision of not having a child, Nix. Am I right?
For you, not for having a child. What if your partner don't want to have a child and you want to have a child?
Okay, so definitely, of course, it is not my decision after all. So it should be a mutual decision of me and my future partner. And I will ask his side, like, what is his future plans for me, if he wanted to have a child with me, and if ever he wanted to have a child, and also he needs to be ready for that responsibility if he wanted to, if he really wants such an obligation in life. And as well as it is necessary that we are both physically, mentally, and financially prepared, because it is not easy to make a decision right away, especially if you wanted to have a child, because having a child is responsibility, a responsibility lifetime. How about you, Nix?
For me, that question is before we're going to start dating or hanging out together, I think we should know our thoughts about it, because it is really important for me if I'm going to have a partner, because I want to know his thoughts about this topic too. If he didn't want a child, it's okay for me. If he wanted or she wanted to have a child of her own, it's right for me. But I think we're not going to be compatible in this issue, because I don't want to have a child, and I think she or he my partner in the future can change my mind or my decision about this topic of being a child person. So we're going to the lucky commenter again. It is Carla Sidayo 201. Oh, 201, like pirates, huh? So here is our next lucky commenter that we will pick for question. So it's really important. I think it's relevant for this topic. when did you set your mind on this topic? When did you set your mind that you want to have a child, or when did you set your mind of not having one? For me.
Okay, so I think that's a very good question, Nick, since we are not the best friends. If since remember since college we already talked about that, and I will be very open to you and to your followers as well, and I will not hide that I came from a dysfunctional family wherein maybe you will think that um why Deb came from a dysfunctional family, yet still he want to have a children because of this issue. But I remember, like, I wanted to have a child. I in my 12th grade, like, I realized that I should have one in the future, and I promised to myself that I will not let them experience what I've experienced or experience my childhood trauma. How about you, Nix?
Um, for this question, back when I was 16, I already fixed my mind, but it is not. I mean, it's not fixed, but I already have the idea. I have the idea of not having a child. But when I turned 18, which is the legal age for me that I can decide for myself, I already fixed to my mind that I will not having a child anytime in the future, because of my past traumas. I didn't say that my parents were horrible parents, but the experience was a horrible one. Not my parents. Having a financial problem, mental stability, or something about problem like that is a really big factor for me, and it really influenced my mind of not having a child at such young age. So after years, I didn't even change, or I didn't budge about my decision of not having a child.
And
So
you know what, Nix? Living here in the Philippines, we have this kind of Filipino toxic culture, like having a child. Some parents think that having a child, their child is their retirement plan, which is that should not be requirement of bearing a child, I think, and we should cut that.
some people shame other people, or shame other mindset about not having a child. They said that the people not having that don't want a child of their own is selfish, or
Yes, yes.
something
I think I've posted in my social media account, like I wrote some article about being a child free, and a lot of comments that I've received is a negative one, like, oh, you're a selfish because you don't want a child, you're scared of responsibility, that's the reason why you don't have a child. But that's not the reason. The reason is my past trauma, diba?
they are not the one who experienced it. It is you. So having a child free life is really good. But I want to emphasize the thing that being child free is different from being childless, because being child free is you don't have the capability to have a child on your own. Means that you're impotent or something like that. But being child free is something that your mind, it is in your mind that you don't want to have a child because
Yes.
of experiences or your traumas or your doubts about having a child or responsibility, something.
And also, last additional info about this issue. I think if you grew up in a family wherein you're a privileged one, you're lucky enough. That's
Yes.
why some people think that those who are in the middle class don't want a child. Is because they are afraid of their responsibility. But no, ever since they need to work hard for the things that they want, especially for their wants, like that. And if you came from a rich family in a privileged one, take care of that. Take care of that things that you have, that like what they call sarap na buhay that you have.
So for the last question, by the way, this is just a fast podcast because we're running out of time. So this is for the last question. Sorry for the other commenter that we didn't have the chance to pick
Maybe
it.
in this next next in the next podcast we should acknowledge also
So
their
the last
questions.
question is that do you consider adoption? Me, I'm going to answer first. I will not close any doors for having a child, but I don't want to experience the traumas, physical traumas in having a pregnancy. So I think I really consider adoption because adoption is it is like something that you will raise your own child. The child will based on your morals, virtues, and personality. It is even if you're not in the same bloodline, it's fine because the morals and the values will came from you
Hmm.
as you.
Definitely. I agree with you. I agree with you. And when I hear adoption, so many positive thoughts come from my mind. Like when we say adoption, some people or some parents wanted you in their life, and that's a blessing. And with regards to your question, I consider adoption if I am not capable of having a child, if I have a problem with regards to my health, and to give some advice to the parents who wanted to adopt in the near future or if they have an idea to adopt. Like when you adopt a child, you must remember first that um, you become the child's parents or the legal parents of the child that you adopt, and the child becomes a member of your family. That child should not be left behind in your family. And you adopted the child has the same rights as any biological child. Like, for example, first as they take on your surname, and of course, they have the right to inherit your property as well. So, keep that in mind.
So that's all for today's podcast. Sorry for the running time because we only have 10 minutes to this podcast because there's an event that I need to go and deliver also. So bye bye. Thank you for listening to the podcast now. Hinamon!
Thank you, followers. Just keep on following this podcast.